Mpressive Collections is your one-stop shop for custom creations for every occasion, especially if you are looking for fun Halloween-themed items. With Mpressive Collections, you can find t-shirts, hoodies, tumblers, coasters, mouse pads, journals, wallets, lunch bags, tote bags, and much, much more. There is literally something for everyone. Check them out. Link in the description.
Happy Halloween! If you can tell, well, it's that fantasy chick, and I'm here for my That Frightening Fantasy Chick Halloween stream. And if you can tell, you can see, I half-assed the costume based on a Harry Potter. I'm a Ravenclaw, so I got this. I got this stuff from Dragon Con last year. It was a Ravenclaw box, and it came with suspenders and this little Ravenclaw pin and a bow tie that never stays straight, and a little eagle because for whatever reason, Ravenclaw's animal is an eagle, not a raven. Don't ask me. That's just how it is. Um, so I have a poll in the chat asking did you bring a drink, and if you did, what did you bring? Was it liquor? Was it wine? Was it a cocktail? Was it water? I didn't even think of beer, but I only had 4 choices, so I picked liquor, wine, cocktail, beer. So if you have something that's not in the poll, just put it in the chat. Put what you have to drink in the chat. Because frankly, my choice isn't in the chat either. It's this Jack Daniels that I almost forgot. So I have 3 things I want to talk about. Talk about Venom because I saw it last weekend, finally. And I finally sat down and watched Agatha All Along, basically just in time for the finale to show. And I finally sat down and binge watched Penguin. So I've been doing a lot of binge watching this week. So we're going to talk about that. And for the Halloween stream, we have a special Halloween transition, y'all. So first topic. Did you like that? I like that. Okay, so first topic, Venom 3 or Venom The Last Dance. I just called it Venom 3 for short. But Venom The Last Dance. Okay, let's just say after Venom, I don't know what the second one is called, but Venom 2, my expectations were pretty much on the floor. That I felt like Venom 2 was very, very disappointing. And Venom 3 had a little bit of the same thing because I think the thing that really, which is a shame, that bugs me the most about Venom is it's the Venom Eddie relationship, and the whole movie sort of hinges on their relationship. And I don't know. It just feels like, Venom is in control and Eddie is just along for the ride. And I would have liked for Eddie to have just like a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Agency? Is that the word I'm looking for? Just, just a little more control of his situation. But beyond that, what I did notice in this film was they took time with characterization. That's what sort of that grabbed me. As they introduced characters, they took the time to show these characters, to develop these characters. I don't know if the scientist, if she was like a character from the comics, she seemed kind of important. Like the fact that they gave her a whole backstory and flashback to that backstory, it felt like they were setting up a pretty important character. I don't know Venom outside of Spider-Man, so I don't know who she is. But it was very interesting to see her set up, to see I don't know if this is her name, but Chiwetel called her Christmas. So Christmas, them setting up with their little quirky personalities. And I know, okay, so I don't know his, I can't remember. I never remember character names. So I don't know the general's name, but I know his real name is Chiwetel. Because I love him. I always love him. Nobody ever votes for him to be James Bond, but he's my pick for James Bond. I would like him to be the Black James Bond. I feel like he has the swag to pull it off. But anyway, when he was introduced, normally when you have pretty much any type of movie, the military are the assholes. Like they come in and they just wreck shit. They come in, they're evil, they're villains, they're one note, they're all about, using whatever we find or whatever is out there as weapons against other countries in the world. But when they brought him in, he wasn't like that. He was just doing his job. His job, as general of the army, his job is to seek these things out, get it under control, hand it off to the scientists to do their research while, shutting down basically the public face of Area 51. So Area 51 is going to turn into Area 55 deep down in the ground. And so he's decommissioning the public face, so the public won't know it exists, but they're continuing on with their work. So yeah, so I never felt like he was just a straight out villain. I always felt like he had a purpose. He did his purpose. When that guy was warning them about the aliens and they saw the aliens, normally, like, when the threat that they were warned about comes along, they go left. He goes, okay, we were told this was going to happen and we can't fight. Like, I saw this dude eat my guys alive. There's no way we can fight these little, I forget what they call those aliens, but the aliens that Null sent. Who I didn't get to see because, again, my theater turned on the lights way too early. I keep saying I'm going to complain. I'm going to go online and I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to the chain that they need to stop turning on the lights too early. But anyway, ran aside. So I liked him. I liked the characterization of the scientist. That was like my favorite part of Venom 3, the new characters. I like the new characters. Although the main scientist, the important scientist, she did kind of get on my nerves, but she brought it back around in the end. Uh-oh, what's going on? Okay. I don't know. Something was going on with my Wi-Fi. I had to I hope I wasn't messing up. But so yeah. When they were like, oh goodness, I forget the thing that Eddie and Venom had inside of them that Null needed to get out of his prison, blah, 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 blah. When they found out that, okay, in order to keep him from getting this thing, one or both of them had to die. In my head, I was like, I know this is bad, but I don't care. If I had to choose between the two, I would want Venom to die. But if Eddie died, I don't think I would have cared. I was like, one of them has to die, so one of them needs to die. I was just, when the general, took his shot, and it did kind of shock me, but I was like, it's like kill one of them or save the earth from this unbeatable threat. That was my choice. Apparently, in the theater that I went to, it was only like maybe 2 or 3 of us in there. I was the only one that felt this way. The guy who was sitting in the back apparently really was a big fan of Venom, because in the big moments that they wanted you to clap, he was clapping. He was like, yeah. He laughed at all the jokes. He was having a good time. So he really liked Venom 3. He liked it way more than me. I laughed. I was, when they had the big moments, I was like, okay, this is a big moment, but all in all, it was okay. It was better than 2. That's my main feeling. It was better than 2. I liked it as an ending of their story. I definitely like seeing Tom Hardy in that tux. Mm, yes, we liked Tom Hardy in the tux, because yeah, it was Inception. Inception was the first time I noticed Tom Hardy. I thought it was the first time I ever saw him, but after Inception, I IMDb'd him and realized I owned a movie that he was in. And I didn't realize it was him. He just has he had mad swagger in Inception. And that's where I fell in love with Tom Hardy. So him in that suit, I was like, okay, that's the guy I met in Inception. That's what I like. But yeah, so Venom 3, liked it better than Venom 2. I still think Venom 1 is probably the best. Yeah, Venom 1 is the best. But and so it goes 1, 3, 2. Okay. So next subject. Messing around. Okay, so next is Agatha All Along. Oh, when Agatha All Along started, and like the very first episode, and then they did that theme, and I was like, okay, I forget that this is a spinoff of WandaVision. So I was like, oh, so are we gonna do I was like, are we gonna do a different WandaVision episode each episode? Because that's gonna be kind of tiring. But thankfully by the end of this episode, she wakes up, which left me with a lot of questions. Well, first of all, the cop show that she was doing very much reminded me of True Detective, down to the theme song that they had playing. I'm like, this is very like True Detective. Oh my goodness, why they put paper in these things? I don't know. It very much reminded me of True Detective. But when she woke up, I'm like, okay, she was already awake. She was the one who recognized Wanda and what Wanda was doing. So after Wanda took her power, she went back into her own little version of this, like her own localized version of the spell, because everybody else was awake and everybody else was playing along with her vision, but she was still in it's confusing. So So I guess it's just, yeah, Wanda Maximoff lifted the spell for the whole town, but somehow was able to leave a little bit of spell on Agatha Harkness alone. Okay. Then the little boy comes along, and then you find out, people talking about, oh, Agatha gave her son up. So I was like, oh, is this her son? But then I was like, but Agatha is hundreds of years old. Her son wouldn't still be 16 unless he's under some sort of spell. So I was like, so he can't be her son. But, and then when you had the episode, Alice's episode, no, when Alice died, then you had Nicholas Scratch, the dead voice of the dead son, and I was like, okay, he's dead, so he's definitely not her son, even though I had already pretty much left that theory out. So yeah, I didn't figure out who he was until he figured out who he was. It just didn't occur to me, even though he was like, he said, Tommy, if I had remembered those boys' names, because remember, I don't remember anybody's names on TV shows, on movies. I do not remember characters' names. I remember actors' names, but I don't remember characters' names. So him saying Tommy wasn't a clue to me. It didn't hit me that he was talking about Wanda Maximoff's son, and he was Wanda Maximoff's son. And I saw somewhere, like I had, after I had finished watching all of the episodes, I saw somewhere where they were like, Billy is being set up to be the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But overall, I liked Agatha All Along. It kept my attention better than the Penguin did. But when it got to Lilia's episode, I don't know the names of the episode. When it got to Lilia's episode, was the best episode. That was the episode where I was like, okay, these N-words was writing their butts off. I was like, okay, somebody sketched that, like they didn't, they did a good job. They did a good job of breaking down that whole season and leaving the clues along the way. Because at first you're like, Lily is crazy. What is Lily doing? Why is she having all these outbursts? And then in her episode, every single outburst came back around and made sense. I'm like, oh my God. It was awesome. It was actually putting me in the mind of what's that? Heavy Metal Alchemist. Heavy Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like when I first watched that, it was like, okay, this is okay. This is interesting. And like after, I don't know how many episodes it took, but after like maybe 3 or 4, like I binged watched it, which helped. Because if I'd watched it week after week, I probably would have lost interest. But because I binge watched it, when you got around 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th episode, that's when you realize every single thing that happened before is connected. And it's not just some random little episodes. You thought it wasn't just random stuff. Every single thing was connected. Every single episode was connected. Every single thing you find out is connected. That's what Lilia's episode was for me. It was like that. It was like every single thing she said came back around on her time. And it was like, oh wow. It was just really, really good. I really, really liked it. So yeah, that was, don't get me the line. episode 7, I think. And it was, for whatever reason, they did not. They didn't do 10. They did 9, which seems strange because usually people do 8, 10, or 13. And they're like, we're going to do 9 because we're Disney and we can do what we want. So they did 9 episodes, which is strange. But after episode 8, well, no, during episode 8, when he leaves the road and he what is my costume? Hello, Mystery Chick. I'm about to write it in the chat like I can't tell you. This is Harry Potter. And so I think I've told you that Harry Potter has 4 different houses, like basically dorms. It's Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and Ravenclaw. So these suspenders are Ravenclaw suspenders. There's a pin. That's a Ravenclaw pin. This is a Ravenclaw bow tie. And this is the Ravenclaw mascot, which is, guess what? An eagle. Because Ravenclaw mascot is an eagle, not a raven. But yeah, and you see I have my little Harry Potter wand. So I'm like, I guess I'm like a student at Hogwarts. So it's like I said, I have asked my costume, but I did something. I looked for something in my house and I put this together. Okay. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. Agatha, I forgot what I was saying, but I was talking about Agatha. And oh yeah. So during episode 8, after Tommy, is it Tommy Billy? After Billy leaves the road, I kept going, where's Tommy? Where's Tommy? Is he going to get Tommy? Is he going to find Tommy when he goes back to Agatha's house? I'm like, are you going to go look for Tommy? What's going on? So the cliffhanger is he and Agatha go look for Tommy. So I'm like, so I guess they plan on having a season 2 where we find Tommy Maximoff. Does he know who he is? Are they going to have to try to convince him who he is? Tommy's not a witch like Billy. Tommy was a speedster. So is this boy a speedster? It'll be interesting. So is the new Tommy going to be, since Billy's witch powers came with him into his new body, will Tommy's speedster powers come with him into his new body? I guess we'll see whenever season 2 happens, because in this new era of TV, things don't happen 1 year later. WandaVision was 3 years ago. So we had to remember stuff that happened 3 years ago. Yeah, I was like, some people don't like the fact that the seasons are so short. I'm like, we probably wouldn't mind short seasons if they came around regular. If they came, like if we got 8 seasons every single year, it wouldn't be so bad. It's the we only get them every 2 to 3 years. That's the hard part. Is not the length of the seasons, it's the length of the hiatus. The length of the hiatus is what's killing us. Okay. So yeah. So loved Agatha All Along. The Lilia episode was the best. It was the best. And yeah. So now I pretty much binge watched it in 2 days. So now I have to wait 3 years for season 2. All right, next subject. Now the last subject we're going to talk about. We're going to do our transition first. I'm gonna have to do a transition for regular lives, but that was kind of cool having the Halloween transition. Okay, so penguin. Okay, I've been hearing I've been hearing people just rave about penguin. Oh, penguin is the next best thing. What's his face? Should have been over the DCU instead of James Gunn. And the Penguin is the next greatest thing, is the greatest thing that ever happened to the DCU. And I'm just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have heard all of this raving because unlike Venom, whose expectations was on the floor, Penguin's expectations were, you know, it's in the stratosphere. So when I watched Penguin, I was like, it bored me. I was so bored. I was like, if I hadn't already said that I was doing Penguin on this live stream, I wouldn't have kept watching. I wouldn't have. It didn't grab me. And I, now I do admit that I liked the Sophia character. I liked her immediately. Like the moment she came in and she was looking at Penguin, like, I don't trust you. I don't like you. And you're not telling me the truth. I liked her immediately, but it was really hard to grab hold of that and hold on to that in the midst of I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it. It bored me. That's what it was. It wasn't like that I just didn't like it. It bored me. It bored me so much. But I like Sophia. When we got to Sophia's episode, I was like, this was this was a shame. This was a plum shame that, they did. Because at first I was like, while we were watching her episode, I was like, is there going to be a twist? Are we going to find out that it wasn't her father who killed all those girls? I mean, or who framed her, but it was like specifically Penguin or her brother, the person she trusted the most could have been the person, but all these episodes later, we're still going with the father did it. The father killed those girls. The father framed her. But it makes sense because his reaction to her talking to that reporter when just, well, I mean, on the show, but let's say hours or maybe a day earlier, he was talking about handing over the whole family to her. He wasn't going to pass it to his son. He was going to pass it to her. She was going to be in charge of the family. She talks to the reporter, and all of a sudden, he starts gaslighting her. And I'm like, oh, this is dirty. This is not nice. This is not cool at all. And then they don't send her to jail. They send her to Arkham, and they manage to lock her up without a trial. And I was like, see, this is the problem with Gotham. Gotham is just a dirty, dirty city. And I don't just mean physically like dirt and garbage everywhere, like because it looks like a dirty city everywhere. Like they had the Falcone mansion and blah 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 blah. But I'm like, is that within Gotham or is that outside of Gotham city limits? Because I feel like everywhere in Gotham, even the good neighborhoods, are still dirty. It's dirty. Gotham is such a dirty city that it's about the haves and the have-nots, but you have the poor, but all the haves are criminals. They're all crooked. They're all crooked dirty, because like either like your so-called rich people are are gangs, mafia is the mafia, um to me, or dirty businessmen or dirty politicians. Like there is nobody clean in that city. um like I can't remember the Batman. I feel like Thomas Wayne had some skeletons in his closet. So like he was the best of the rich people, but he still has some stuff going on. And even when you think down to the little superhero, Batman, he dirty. Batman, Batman. My sister, my middle sister, talks about Robert Pattinson as Batman, and she's like, he's just dirty, and she means filthy, like you know, unclean, not crooked. But yeah, he looks dirty. He looks like he doesn't bathe. Living in a mansion, living in a burnt out mansion, you know, with no furniture. Yeah, he just looks homeless all the time. So I yeah. So pretty much how I got through Penguin was by having it on as background noise while I edit my video. Yeah, I still got to finish editing my video, but I was able to get some stuff done while listening to the Penguins. So what also helped was at the end of each episode, Max did this, behind the scenes, and they had the producers, the directors, the writers, the actors, and they all sort of broke down the episode we just watched and was just explaining, like, we showed this by doing this. But in their little breakdowns, they just sort of recapped the episode to me. So if I missed any big points, because I wasn't barely paying attention, it was pointed out to me in the little recap. And halfway was like, maybe I should just forward through to the recap at the end, because pretty much that's the only time I'm paying attention. Yeah. So 6 episodes. There's probably going to be 10 of Penguin. I don't know if I can watch 4 more episodes. I don't know. We'll see if I watch 4 more episodes. But I did see Creature Commandos is coming out in December. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get back on, because like I let so many things pass by the wayside. Like when I was watching Agatha All Along, I saw The Acolyte, and I was like, I really gotta watch that. So I'm going to keep this little binge watch thing I got going. I'm going to go through The Acolyte. We're going to go through that last episode of Young Justice that I still haven't watched, and Doom Patrol. And, I feel like there was something else. Oh, Echo, because I feel like people were saying I should probably watch Echo before Daredevil comes back, whenever that happens. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think it was easy for me to let things fall by the wayside this year, because this year has been a very dry year. It was very much affected by the strikes, the double strikes we had last year. And a lot of stuff was moved off of 2024 and pushed back. So didn't have, didn't have as many movies for me to go to. I didn't go see Joker. I heard it was horrible. I'm gonna catch it when it comes to Max. I'm like, Joker Folle Adu. Yeah. I hear it was horrible. So I'm gonna wait for it to come to Max and then I'll check. I think that's how I watched the first Joker. I don't think I saw the first Joker in the theaters either. So yeah. So I'm gonna try to finish the Penguin, but it was easy binging it. Now that I have to sort of remember to watch it every week, now that I'm caught up, that's gonna be hard. I don't even know what day it comes on. What is my drink of choice? Jack Daniel's Down Home Punch. It's a very, very good. What are you drinking? I almost forgot to to get this and open this before. It was like 6:59 and I had to go run and get it. But let me see if anybody else has. There is a poll in the chat. Asking people. Okay. So right now I have 100% liquor. Awesome. That is awesome. Tequila and LaCroix. Tequila and LaCroix. So tequila and water? Is it LaCroix flavor? Can you taste the flavoring or is it just watered down tequila? I wanted to get tequila. I was going to get tequila, but Jules just doesn't carry coconut tequila, and I really wanted to get coconut tequila, and I wanted to try it with pineapple juice. Because you remember we used to drink coconut rum with pineapple juice, and that was delicious. So I was like, I wonder how coconut tequila and pineapple juice would be. But they just have regular tequila. It's flavored. Okay. So since I couldn't get the coconut tequila I wanted, I got Jack Daniel's Down Home Punch. So that's how I've been celebrating my Halloween. I think lemon or something like that. Okay. These suspenders. I want to pull down my shirt, but the suspenders are in the way. So it's like I feel like my shirt is riding up, but I can't pull it down because I got on these suspenders that are, as you can see, are kind of big. So like they're pretty much useless except for just wearing them for show. They will not hold up anything. My pants will be on the floor trying to wear these. So yeah. So to recap, let's do one more transition for the recap. It's just fun. I love it. So recap. Venom 3. Liked it better than Venom 2. That's the best I can say about it. But Venom 1 was the best. Agatha All Along. Definitely liked it better than Penguin. It grabbed me. The storytelling was good. Agatha was your, antisocial hero. Although they played it all along, they played it like she had this backstory that would explain everything away and make her seem better than she was. And in the end, she still was just the witch murderer that everybody thought she was. It's just she didn't give up her son like everybody thought. That was the only thing wrong with the story. Like everybody thought she gave up her son for the Darkhold, but she didn't. According to the timeline, she would have gotten the Darkhold before she got pregnant. So that's another question I have. The timeline of her getting the Darkhold, her getting pregnant, blah, 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 blah. But, also, she's the one, she and her son wrote that song. She created, it's crazy. It is so crazy. It's like going back in time and seeing how she created this whole legend, which allowed her to just kill witches over and over again. So she was as bad as they thought she was. That was another thing. So the whole Billy Maximoff, Lilia is the best. Lilia's episode is great. Next, the boy being Billy Maximoff, and next, her like this whole legend isn't real because she created it. She wrote the song. She and her son wrote the song. It's just a ploy to steal people's magic. So, yeah, Agatha All Along, tops. Penguin, not that it's bad. I do like how the story's coming together. Like it feels like every time you think Penguin's out, then he finds a way to turn it all around. And he saved his, like every episode is just him saving his butt over and over and over again. And it's really about how is he going to defeat Sophia? Because I mean he's the Penguin. Of course he comes out on top. How is he going to do it? So that's interesting. Just the show itself, I don't know what it is about this show that just doesn't grab me. It doesn't grab me. I'm bored to tears. But like I said, I love Sophia. I love her. Justice for Sophia. She was done wrong. Just wrong. I'm glad she took over the family. I'm glad she killed her whole family. Like, yeah. Yes. Get rid of them all. They all stab you in the back. Get rid of them all. And change the family name. She's like, we're going to take my mom's maiden name. We are no longer the Falcons, we're the Gigantes. I was like, all right, Gigante, you do your thing. I really wish she can come out on top because I like her better than Penguin. I really want her to come out on top, but we know that the show is called Penguin. It's Penguin's show. Penguin becomes the kingpin. So I don't know how many seasons we're going to show, or is this like a one season thing, or if they're going to do how many seasons. I will give props to Colin Farrell and the makeup department because I forget that Oz is Colin Farrell. It don't look like him and it don't sound like him. It's kind of like what's that boy Bradley Cooper and Rocket Raccoon. It's very much, except he's not a CGI character. He's wearing a fat suit and a bunch of makeup. But yeah, he's doing really good. He may win an Emmy for his portrayal. It's good. So unless y'all want to talk about something, unless y'all have something else y'all want to talk about. Oh, real quick. Superman and Lois. Oh my God, that show has been so good this season. Now Superman and Lois has been really, really good, and people have been raving about that and Penguin. So that's why my hopes are really high for Penguin because Superman and Lois has been really, really good. It has been so good. And I really wish it wasn't the last season. What is going on? Somebody's calling me, but it's not coming through my. I can't. I wish I could. I wish it would have come through here because I could have declined it. Why didn't it come through here? That's strange. Normally it would come through here and I could decline it, but we have to sit there and let my phone ring. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay. Yeah, I really wish it wasn't the last season. I really wish it could keep going. But you definitely can see the effects of the budget cuts because all of like you can only dedicate like one episode is going to have one set of minor characters, and then the next episode is going to have a different set. Like you don't get to see all of the characters all at the same time anymore. It's like it's the family and these characters, and then next week is the family and these sets of characters, and it's the family and he set the characters. So it's like I'm feeling the disconnect with that, and then it's like I feel like it's kind of feeling like Smallville. Everybody knows Clark is Superman now. Lex Luthor knows he's Superman, and I'm like, once he knows, what's the use of having a secret? What is the use of having a secret? But now everybody in Smallville was like, yeah, I was there and I saw how hurt you guys were when Superman died, and we just figured it was Clark because we didn't see him no more after that. So like everybody figured out Clark is Superman. What is going on? Okay. That's its own little thing. I'm wrapping up anyway. So yeah, Superman and Lois is great. I still don't like this Lex. This Lex is still too much of a thug for me. But it's been very good. I don't like that they told. I like the fact that Jonathan has powers. I don't like the fact that they told his girlfriend. I was like, okay, I get it. Everybody knows, and she might as well knows, but she did not deserve to know. She did not deserve to know. We didn't even see her. We're not even going to see her. They don't have the budget to keep her on, so why even tell her? She's in a whole nother state. Just lie. Like you were lied to for 14 years. But yeah, but now we have Superman with a 60-year-old's heart. Like they gave Superman the worst heart surgery he could ever get. So it's just, oh my God. So yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to come back and talk about Superman and Lois. But that is all for our Halloween stream. Nobody has come up with anything else that they wanted to talk about, and we're still at 100% liquor on the poll. Okay, so okay, so we're going to end that out. Before we end that out, I know today is Halloween, so you're probably not going to order Halloween stuff, but I still want to show this Mpressive Collections commercial one last time for the sake of Halloween, because it's Halloween themed. She'll have stuff for Christmas, so we're gonna get some. So we'll show you once she gets her Christmas things in. We'll show you those. But in the meantime, thanks for watching.
Mpressive Collections is your one-stop shop for custom creations for every occasion, especially if you are looking for fun Halloween-themed items. With Mpressive Collections, you can find t-shirts, hoodies, tumblers, coasters, mouse pads, journals, wallets, lunch bags, tote bags, and much, much more. There is literally something for everyone. Check them out. Link in the description.